So hello, welcome back to Stephen's Falls. Today, as you can see, I'm out in the Alfa. That's because I'm going to be a little bit more of an in-depth driving review of this car. Now, I did a little review in my last episode, but in the sort of introductory episode to this one, I'm going to kick it down a gear. There we go, get a little more power. I have to admit, it isn't the fastest thing, this car, but it does feel really nice when you put your foot down. It loves to rev up, this car. I think, yeah, we'll go further there. I think fourth was a bit ambitious. So I thought we'd get out today and do a little bit more of a in-depth review, and I've had a little bit more time to actually drive this car now. And I really like this car. Overall, it's really nice. I mean, fuel economy isn't the best. It's not the most powerful, but I can forgive it for that because the way this car drives, it's absolutely lovely. It just feels a nice car to drive. It's funny because I've had a couple of people over to film using this car for their YouTube channels. I had Eddie, a very good friend Eddie, come over and do filming for his channel. I've also had Joseph from Lloyd Vehicle Consulting, and he came over to drive the car, and both of those people got out and said how much they loved this car. Literally, the first thing they said, they got, "This is lovely." That's what they both said to me. So a certain trio who used to obviously have a TV show on the BBC, and then later Amazon, always raved about Alfa Romeo. Said you can't be a true petrol head until you've owned one, and I can see exactly what they're on about now. This car is unlike anything else I've ever driven. It's unlike anything else I've owned. I've never owned a car that makes me feel this way. It's slightly frustrating at times. There are certain quirks of this car, but you get in the car like today and go out for a drive, and it's just magical. It's something magical about this car, and I can't put it into words, nor can I explain why I like this car. This car is only meant to be a quick sort of 6-month car for me. Buy it, do some bits to it, and probably sell it on. I think my partner's we've got a little bit of a bet on at the moment whether I am actually going to sell this car. And I have to admit, I'm probably sad to see this car go. A lot of the cars I sell, I'm not sad to see them go. I've got a reason for letting them go, and this one I really do quite like. For the money, probably sell it for around 3.5. This car, it's a lot of car for the money. Okay, it's not the quickest, it's not the most powerful, it's not the best economy, it's quite a lot of tax, all those sort of boring things really. But the one thing I will say is, again, I'm just going to keep banging on about this video, it's just the way it makes you feel. It's just magical, this car. There's something about it that is unlike anything else, and everyone that says you need to drive Alfa Romeo, yep, I get it, you're preaching to converted now, you really are preaching to converted. So let's dive into what this car is like to drive. Well, the gearbox is lovely, relatively short throw on there. The clutch is quite nice and light. The steering feels quite direct. It's got a little bit of weight to it, but not a massive amount. It was interesting hearing Joseph come up, and he recently drove a 159 wagon, and he said actually the steering up was so much lighter than this. Obviously Alfa Romeo have tweaked it a little bit. They were envisioning this was going to be more of a driver's car, so that's quite interesting for him to say that. And it's really just a great car, this one. I really don't know why they sold so few. So it's just a great car to drive. I really actually enjoy driving this car, and I do actually want to just make some excuses just to go out in it. So today I've come out just for a drive, and it hasn't been out for the last week or so, so let's get it out. Always having an issue with the battery, and let's give it a little bit of poke up this hill. It isn't even that fast, this car, but it's just the way it delivers the power, the way it makes you feel. The steering's lovely, the brakes are responsive, the suspension's firm enough but not too firm that it's going to rattle your teeth out. This car is naturally aspirated. It's a 2.2 naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. and it shouldn't drive this nicely. It really shouldn't drive as well. It loves to be driven quite spiritedly, this car. It'll do the sort of daily stuff and it'll toot around quite happily. But when you start to push this car, that's when it makes a lot of sense. That's when the wheel personality of this car comes out. It loves to be driven, and driven quite hard. It is an Italian. Generally, Italian cars, they like to have the engine sort of throttled almost to get the most out of them. So I don't know what else to say about the car. It is just a lovely, lovely, lovely car to drive. I wish I could tell you why it's so nice. It's just the way it's put together, the way it makes you feel. It is a proper driver's car, this, and it's amazing. I've driven other cars that are a lot more expensive than this, that don't feel half as nice to drive as this does. This really does feel great to drive. I can understand why people are put off by this car, because the Alfa Romeo don't have the best reputation of reliability. But I think I've been quite lucky with this car that it doesn't have a lot of issues. I think when you buy from auction, you never quite know what you're going to get until you drive away into the sunset. And sometimes it isn't always that rosy, to be honest. But I think I've been quite lucky with this one. It doesn't seem to have that many major issues. A major issue with the bodywork, which now I've got sorted to actually get on focus and enjoying this car. So I've just pulled over. I'm going to go and head home now. Really enjoyed this car. I'm just thinking of an excuse. Can I go out anywhere in this car just to extend the drive a little bit? But now I've got to take my dogs to the groomers later on. So I better get back soon, or else they won't be happy. So just thought I'd give you a little bit more of an in-depth review of how this car drives and how important it makes you feel. So thank you very much for watching. There'll be plenty more content on the Alfa coming up. So it's goodbye from me, goodbye from the Alfa, and we will see you very soon. Goodbye.